Alright guys, we are at my mom's today. The kid's down for a nap, so I thought I'd pop on and let's do the Q&A. You guys did awesome. There are so many questions. You guys went nuts. Thank you, I appreciate it. Let's get started. We're going to try and do this as quickly as possible. Here we go. Bobby the Bengal asks, how much food do you feed the cats today? I have a 5-month-old Bengal. He's my first cat I've ever owned. I just want to make sure I am not feeding him too much or too little. I haven't fed too many kittens, and it's been a while since Mia's 5 years old. Max currently is eating 10 ounces a day. I have it split up into 3 to 4 meals. That is a lot of food. He's eating double what Mia and Dexter are eating. Based on things I've researched, between 8 to 12 ounces a day is good for a small kitten. You know he'll probably go down after he stops growing so much. Probably about 7 or 8 months old, we'll start backing it down. Max is just under 6 pounds and he's eating 10 ounces a day. Next question. Did you make a video on the mechanics of editing your raw video? From Roy Howard. I'm going to have to do an extra video on that. So stay tuned. I will do that. GNexus01 asks, also, why are you guys putting bedrooms in the bathroom downstairs? I will do a house tour based on some of the questions here, and in that I will give you some explanations on the layout and what we're doing. Next one. This one has a lot. Evgeny Smirnov? Yeah, sorry. Here's the question. You always feed the crew with meat, rabbit, chicken, or liver, kidneys. Are you giving them vegetables or special vitamins? No. Long time ago I used to mix some vegetables in and it really didn't go well, and everything that I've seen now says that they're not good for cats. They give them indigestion, so we don't do vegetables. Special vitamins, I do a little bit of fish oil. That's it. The next question. What is the heating system based on in our house? Is gas heat with an electric fan. I would have loved to have done full floor radiant heating, or maybe even geothermal heating, but way outside of our budget. With a high efficiency system, and even though our house is bigger than our previous one, the bills are lower. So, thumbs up. Bonus question. Why, maybe Robert knows best, why Tundra and Sequoia and not Ram or F-150, Tahoe, Suburban? What Toyota offers in the States to have an added advantage? He's always been a Toyota fan, but I will say this, he's starting to lean more. He might go Ford on the next round. Toyota's always been really dependable and reliable, but the way they've made the last round of vehicles, he just doesn't think it's the same. So he may go forward. He thinks he can get more out of it from an engine standpoint versus cost. So we may be switching to Ford, maybe an F-150 on the next round, but not anytime soon. Next question from Colin Dryberg. Is that right? Dryberg? What's your dream holiday and why, if you haven't been there already? Also, can you pronounce my name properly? I don't know. You tell me. Dream holiday. Really, it all centers around water, waves, and beach. I like to snorkel, I like to scuba dive, but I also love to sit on a quiet beach and just relax and listen to the water. The water is extremely healing for me, so that's something I really like. Probably our best vacation so far has been Roatan in Honduras, and they built a new condo system right on the end of the beach we like. We're eyeballing it. It's going to be a little while before we can afford it, but that's probably our next place. That said, I would really love to go to like Fiji. Really would love to snorkel and scuba dive in that area. It just seems so far away based on flight time there is a day and a half to 2 days. So that's kind of something that's way down the road, maybe post-retirement kind of vacation. But anything with good coral reefs and nice beaches is definitely a positive. Next question, Azul, and I'm not even going to go beyond that. Says, I'm happy that Reese has a playmate now. I guess Mia never quite worked out how to play with her. No, Mia never did. They tried when Reese was a puppy, but Reese was just too intense. So, do you have any dietary restrictions for Addie, or does she eat a typical toddler diet? Pretty much a typical toddler diet. At home, we eat gluten-free because of me. I keep the kitchen gluten-free, and so she does eat a lot of gluten-free products. But outside of the home, she pretty much eats whatever she wants, or whatever I can get her to eat. The one thing we have been avoiding is milk, like cow's milk. She does okay on goat milk, but not cow's milk. We gotta crank through these, it's taking a while. Renette Kuhn, is that how you pronounce that? Hi Aaron, what is the name of the next big town you can go to? It looks like you and your family are living directly in the forest. How many neighbors do you have? Best regards from Germany. Denver is the next biggest town, that's the big city. But we go to the suburbs south of Denver. It takes us about 20 minutes for me to get into town now that we live out. We do live in the forest, but it is all 1 acre lot. I don't know the conversion for metrics, but it is a neighborhood. So we do have lots of neighbors. Like our street is it's kind of a circle, and we probably have 10 neighbors on there now. We know them all, and they've all been great people. So we do actually live in a neighborhood, even though we have trees all around us. From Chris Briz. Question that I have for you is why you feed your cats raw meat? What are the benefits? Have you ever given them dry food or in cans? I feed raw food because I think it is the closest thing that I can get to their natural diet. We've only been feeding commercial foods to cats for maybe 75 years, somewhere in that area. They're meant to get their fluids from their food. So at minimum, canned is where I would go. Unfortunately, canned just destroys the teeth. Raw food to me is the next step. It's the closest to the wild diet. Have they ever eaten dry or canned? Occasionally I do canned on emergency, or like I use canned fish as putting some variety in there. Dexter was raised on dry food until he was about 5 years old. Mia was only on dry food as a kitten, and Max only as a young kitten as well. Stay tuned. I'm going to have a raw video on the pet channel. I'll link it up here when I get it posted. Amy Richardson asks, I'm confused about the rooms. Is there a particular reason for all the rooms? I'll do a house tour soon. Stay tuned for that next week. Angela Abramovitz asks, your house is always clean. What do you do to stay on top of the pet hair and dust? Any tips? I have 2 German Shepherds and 3 cats, kids, and a dusty furry house. I know what you mean. The great thing about these cameras is they don't pick up all that stuff unless you get really close. So don't get a really high quality camera and it helps. Tips wise, I definitely try and pick up every day. That's something that really helps kind of set the stage. If I pick up every day and keep the clutter down, it really helps motivate me to keep cleaning. I don't clean like I want to. I'm in the market for a stick vacuum to clean like every day the hardwood floors. I am not that clean. I definitely pick up as much as I can, and that really helps, but I'm not as clean as you think I am. I wish I had some good tips for you. There was a website called Fly Lady, FLYLADY. Great tips where they basically say you start with your kitchen sink. Make your kitchen sink shine every night before you go to bed. And it helps create a healthy pattern in practice. They have these things that, like tips like, okay, take 10 minutes and go declutter this closet, and that's what you have to do today, and that's it. So check out Fly Lady. I really liked a lot of her stuff. But again, I'm definitely not somebody to give advice on cleaning. The camera lies. Cat Tips 111 asks, as I volunteered in a kill shelter with only cats for a period of 4 years, I'm a huge proponent of rescue adoption over supporting breeders. What I'm curious is why you chose the latter option during your pet adoption. Good question. You asked nicely. I'm going to answer it, but I think I'm going to answer it in another video because it's going to get lengthy. Yes. I do support pet rescue adoption. I used to do fostering of kittens. I did it for years. I fostered pet dogs as well. So I definitely support adoption. I will answer your question. Give me a vlog or two and I will take up this platform. Trust me. I think you'll be surprised at what I say. So stay tuned. Kana Runstrider, was Bayou first Bengal? What drew you to Bengals in the first place? What's the story of how you got Dexter? Let's start with Dexter because he's the oldest. When I was working at a vet clinic, a friend of mine had gotten from a sort of breeder a cat, and he was looking to get rid of a bunch of 4-month-old kittens. He was moving and he didn't have any place for them, so I went and got Dexter. He was kind of a semi-rescue, kind of. He is half American Shorthair, half Devon Rex, but he didn't get the Devon Rex curly-coated hair, but he got kind of like the squished face, and he's got some eye problems, which are part of that breed. I think the guy got evicted or something. He was storing the cats at another house. There had been 30 cats in that living room. It was ridiculous. So it kind of turned into sort of a rescue situation. Might be why Dexter has a lot of potty problems and a lot of territorial issues with other cats. Bayou was my first Bengal. He was supposed to be a foster, and when I walked in to foster him, literally within seconds, there was just such a connection. That was it. So he was my first and only failed foster. And once I got him, I was hooked. They really matched my personality, my energy, my speed. Fortunately, I found out that Bayou really needed another Bengal buddy, and that's where we ended up down the kitten line with Bengals. Bengals really, really, really do better in pairs. We'll talk more about that later, like the previous one. Didion101 says, hi Erin, I started watching back in November last year. After some vlogs, I wanted to see more, and I watched just a few earlier posts. I'm curious what happened to Asia. What tricks have you trained Mia? What age will Max start learning any tricks? It seems he enjoys walking on a leash. How long did it take him to get comfortable? Thanks a lot. Asia, at 2.5, she came down with something called feline dysautonomia, which is an extremely rare disease. Essentially, a bacteria that's normally in the environment somehow reacts wrong in a certain animal's body. It's extremely rare that it does this, but it affects the neurons and the nerves, shut down her autonomic nervous system. Items on your autonomic nervous system are like digestive tract, your tear ducts, your bladder, things like that are all on your autonomic nervous system. They all run on their own, but they require certain signals from the brain to do so. All of that shut down. Her entire digestive system stopped working. She stopped peeing, everything. It took us like almost 10 days to figure out what was wrong with her, and because it's so rare, we kept thinking it was other things that were curable. As soon as we found out what it was and how hard she was hit by it, it's pretty much fatal. I really feel bad that it took us 10 days to figure it out because she suffered during that time, because we kept thinking it was something like a blockage, like an intestinal blockage. We even did surgery for that. So I really, really feel bad that we couldn't find somebody who knew what it was sooner. What tricks have you trained Mia? Nothing really, other than to meow a lot. She's just not as trainable as some of them. Even though she's very food motivated, she's not as interested in training. What age will Max start learning any tricks? I don't know. I might try soon. I really haven't thought about it. I tend to teach them just things that are useful for around the house, like get off the counter. It seems he enjoys walking on the leash. How long did it take him to get comfortable? I literally put it on him and walked outside. He started going, oh, there's a harness on me. Whoa, outdoors. If you put the harness on him when he's inside for a while, every once in a while he'll roll over and kind of play with it, but he's pretty much typical Bengal. Really doesn't bother him. If you put the harness on a cat that really it bugs them, you just leave it on them. Put it on them in the house, leave it on them, feed them, get their best, if you really need to, get something like tuna out and make the association super positive and let them get used to it.